Wendy Baver, and I took Lara's Flow and Grow Kids Yoga Teacher Training class in late October of 2019. I really enjoyed it and I learned a lot. One of the best things about it was going to a workshop with a lot of other educators from different settings and learning how they were going to utilize this kids yoga in their jobs. And of course, I was excited about how I could utilize it in my own. I am a preschool teacher at a daycare center now. I'm also a former kindergarten teacher from a public school. I taught kindergarten until 2012. That was a time when children were really being encouraged to read quickly, and I believe they probably still are. But I heard the term high stakes testing a lot, and this was used about the testing kids were done, that was being done on children's reading, and I felt like it was very stressful for young children to go through this at such a young age. Kids yoga has none of that. Kids yoga is non-judgmental. And I learned that early on in Lara's teaching. We talked about complimenting the children on the effort of the pose, not necessarily the perfect poses. Kids are all at different levels and they're learning things at different times, and posting the yoga moves and the sequence of yoga moves around the classroom helps kids a little bit, even with reading, which is a nice thing about it. They learn the names of the yoga poses quickly, and then they recognize them on cards. Downward dog, child's pose, and I think this is a great way for them to connect the print and the pictures and learn the yoga poses. The preschool kids do learn very quickly, and they learned some of these poses very quickly. I hear that I have had to reprimand. I don't usually work naps, but I remember recently when I had to, one time before Christmas, I had to reprimand two children, one for doing downward dog on her cot and one for doing standing leg split on his cot. And I thought of maybe offering that it's okay for them to do child's pose on their cot. But like I said, I'm not the regular nap time teacher. But Lara is very knowledgeable, and she does a lot of neat things with the kids, mainly to draw them in. She uses props, and I've learned about more props for yoga online by following her online a little bit. But some of them that she used in the class and did with us was an expanding plastic ball, which I remember my own children, they're in their early 20s now, but I remember one of them had one of those many years ago. But she used it in a circle yoga lesson where the kids were sitting in a circle, and she modeled it first. And she told us to breathe in through our nose, and she pulled the ball out, and then she said, breathe out through our mouth, and she put the ball back in. And then the kids got a turn to lead the lesson as they went around. And as they were waiting, we asked them to put their hand on their belly so they could feel the movement. Yoga is a lot about senses, and I've learned that more and more, ways to work into that with the class too. One thing I did at Christmas time that I think Lara's class inspired me to do was I wrapped up some little boxes in gift paper and put various things in them, and some of the kids really enjoyed trying to guess what was in each box. And yes, some of them had different scents, and of course they made different sounds as they shook them and had different weights. So it was an exciting thing that I think her class inspired me to do. Another thing that she did with us one time as a group, we were kind of treated like the children going through yoga classes, which was a good way to do it, I thought. And she talked about, we worked in stations. She had different things set up at different stations that we were supposed to do, different poses, different activities, and we rotated through them, maybe 5 minutes or so in each area. And I found that once I do a more formal lesson with the kids, I can do something like that, set up stations in various areas in the room, and they enjoy going through them. Another thing, as I told you before, I took the class in late October, right before Halloween, and I knew the kids were already excited about Halloween, and I was excited about Halloween books and songs and activities that I do with them. And she did this spooky Halloween walk with us, and she was a dynamic performer when she did this. And, I knew the kids would be really excited. She had a lot of rhythm, and, just the way she presented it, I just wanted to learn that and take that back to the classroom with me. So I ordered that from her right away and worked on it and did do it with my children before Halloween. And that's where they learned some of the poses that they still remember for the other activities. So that was great to see. They learned downward dog, standing legs split, child's pose, and they recognize them in their cards and they read them. So there are connections with reading too, and other types of education. They learn more to take turns. They become a little more compassionate of other children. We learn that we have to give people space, that everybody's different, and we have to organize our mats in a way that we're not going to bump anyone. So I think it's been really great, and I'm really grateful for having taken the class. She's also very helpful, knowledgeable. If you forget something in the class, that she taught, she'll give you her contact information. You can contact her. She'll help you through it. If you want to try something, but you want to run it by her first, again, she'll get back to you. She'll help you through it. And I've had a few times where I had trouble downloading things or even saved things incorrectly, and she sent them to me again. And I was so thankful of that. I wrote to her thanking her for that. And she wrote back, she said, "You're helping me. This is my dream. I want to get this kids yoga out there, and I'm hoping that you're going to stick with it and, do more with it." And that's my plan. When I retire this summer, I'm going to try to become a kids yoga teacher, and I'm very excited about it. And I think you should give it a try. Take Lara's class. There's a lot she can teach you. Thank you.